Hi, thanks for joining us as we read in our Bible together. Um, we already have been doing this as a family, as a married couple for a long time. And so we've been talking for a while now about, well, like, why don't we just record it then? There's like several reasons why I felt like people would benefit maybe from a video of people reading the Bible out loud. And one is like maybe you have trouble reading, and so having someone read it to you, but you don't want like maybe you don't want just a audio app or an AI voice reading it to you or whatever. Um, Maybe you need the motivation of other people reading to get you going. Whatever the reason, we just wanted to make this video, these videos. We were like, we won't set up any extra lighting. We won't, like, wherever we happen to be reading, we'll just read in that spot. We won't change our clothes or get ready for it. One thing we wanted to do though is have good audio since it is reading. So we're going to start in the book of Matthew, which is not the beginning of the Bible, but it is the beginning of the New Testament, and that's where we are reading for school with our daughters. And so you'll see them in some of the videos too if you continue to read with us.
Cool. And I have this Bible. It's like a King James Bible, and it just kind of like has a section in it that kind of like breaks down what the book is about. It gives you a couple ideas about what you're about to read and sets the stage. And I just want to read this to kind of get an idea of what the book of Matthew is all about. So this Bible says, Matthew is a gospel written by a Jew to Jews about Jews. Um, Matthew is the writer, his countrymen are the readers, and Jesus is the subject. Matthew's design is to present Jesus as King of the Jews, the long-awaited Messiah. Through a carefully selected series of Old Testament quotations, Matthew documents Jesus Christ's claim to be Messiah, his genealogy, baptism, messages, and miracles all point to the same inescapable conclusion: Christ is King. Even in his death, seemingly defeat is turned into a victory by the resurrection, and the message again echoes: King of the Jews lives. So that's a little bit about Matthew. Matthew starts with a long genealogy presenting that Jesus's forefather is Abraham, and Abraham's children all the way down till you get to Jesus. So just another fulfillment of prophecy. Matthew's a lot about fulfillment of prophecy. So we're going to actually skip the genealogy part, and Carol's going to start it off. What chapter?
Chapter 1, verse 17. So, So there were 14 generations from Abraham to David. There were also 14 generations from David until the people were taken. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe we'll cut this out or something. But before we get started, before we read, I want to say what translation of the Bible we're reading from in case people want to read from the same translation, and also why. We're reading from the ERV, which is Easy Read Version. And I found this on the Bible app um, by Life Church, I think. That's the first time I ever saw this translation, and it is the easiest one I've ever found. And I've searched for a lot, and I don't, I want one that's easy to read, seems conversational the way that we would talk normally, but without really changing the meaning so much or not straying too far from like KJV and ESV and stuff. So I have read this Bible side by side and compared it with those, and it's a pretty good one. So I recommend it. It's the ERV, and it is in the Bible app if you're using your phone to read along with us. Okay. So Matthew chapter 1 verse 17. So there were 14 generations from Abraham to David. There were also 14 generations from David until the people were taken away to Babylon. And there were 14 more from the time the people were taken to Babylon until the Messiah was born. The birth of Jesus the Messiah. Verse 18. This is how the birth of Jesus the Messiah happened. His mother Mary was engaged to marry Joseph, but before they married, he learned that she was expecting a baby. She was pregnant by the power of the Holy Spirit. Verse 19. Mary's husband Joseph was a good man. He did not want to cause her public disgrace, so he planned to divorce her secretly.
But after Joseph thought about this, an angel from the Lord came to him in a dream. The angel said, Joseph, son of David, don't be afraid to accept Mary to be your wife. The baby inside her is from the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son. You will name him Jesus. Give him that name because he will save his people from their sins. And it says, kind of like a footnote below, it says, the name Jesus means the Lord Yahweh saves. 22. All this happened to make clear that the full meaning of what the Lord said through the prophet, the virgin will be pregnant and will give birth to a son. They will name him Emmanuel. Emmanuel means God with us. When Joseph woke up, he did what the Lord's angel told him to do. He married Mary, but Joseph did not have sexual relations with her until her son was born, and he named him Jesus.
Chapter 2. Wise men come to visit Jesus. Jesus was born in the town of Bethlehem in Judea, during the time when Herod was king. After Jesus was born, some wise men from the east came to Jerusalem. Verse 2. They asked people, "Where is the child who has been born to be the King of the Jews? We saw the star that shows he was born. We saw it rise in the sky in the east, and have come to worship him." When King Herod heard about this, it upset him as well as everyone else in Jerusalem. Verse 4. Herod called a meeting of all the leading Jewish priests and teachers of the law. He asked them where the Messiah would be born. They answered, "In the town of Bethlehem in Judea," just as the prophet wrote.
Did you read all that? Bethlehem. Bethlehem in the land of Judea, you are important among Judah. Bethlehem in the land of Judah, you are important among the rulers of Judah. Yes, the ruler will come from you, and that ruler will lead Israel, my people. Then Herod had a private meeting with the wise men from the east. He learned from them the exact time they first saw the star. Then he sent them to Bethlehem. He said, Go and look carefully for the child. When you find him, come tell me. Then I can worship him too. After the wise men heard the king, they left. They saw the same star that they had seen in the east, and they followed it. The star went before them until it stopped above a place where the child was. They were very happy and excited to see the star. The wise men came to the house where the child was with his mother Mary. They bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened the boxes of gifts they had brought for him. They gave him treasures of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. But God warned the wise men in a dream not to go back to Herod. So they went home to their own country in a different way. Jesus' parents take him to Egypt. After the wise men left, an angel from the Lord came to Joseph in a dream. The angel said, Get up, take the child with his mother, and escape to Egypt. Herod wants to kill the child and will soon start looking for him. Stay in Egypt until I tell you to come back. So Joseph got ready and left for Egypt with the child and his mother. They left during the night. Joseph stayed in Egypt until Herod died. This gave full meaning to what the Lord said through the prophet, I call my son to come out of Egypt.
Herod kills the baby boys in Bethlehem. Verse 16. Herod saw that the wise men had fooled him, and he was very angry. So he gave an order to kill all the baby boys in Bethlehem and the whole area around Bethlehem. Herod had learned from the wise men the time the baby was born. It was now 2 years from that time, so he said to kill all the boys who were 2 years old and younger. This gave full meaning to what God said through the prophet Jeremiah. Verse 18, a sound was heard in Ramah, bitter crying and great sadness. Rachel cries for her children, and she cannot be comforted, because her children are gone. Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 15. Joseph and Mary returned from Egypt. Verse 19. While Joseph was in Egypt, Herod died. An angel from the Lord came to Joseph in a dream and said, get up, take the child with his mother, and go to Israel. Those who were trying to kill the child are now dead.
So Joseph took the child and the mother, and they went to Israel. But he heard that Archelaus was now king of Judea. Archelaus became king when his father Herod died. So Joseph was afraid to go there. Then, after being warned in a dream, he went away to an area of Galilee. He went down to a town called Nazareth and lived there. This gave full meaning to what God said through the prophets. God said the Messiah would be called a Nazarene. All right, so that is chapter 1 and 2.
Thanks for watching as we read Matthew 1 and 2. The video did continue on, but in discussion about what we had just read, but we have since decided that we want to do things differently. And so we're going to keep these Bible reading videos just simply that, reading the Bible together. And then subscribe or check back, and you'll see when the commentary or discussion videos are posted, and we'll do those separately. So yeah, check back for Matthew chapter 3 and 4, and then we'll have the discussion video where we'll talk about Matthew chapter 1 through 4. Say hi.